Let's set up the CSS so that these look more like pressable buttons. Selecting the class animal, adding in width. We can set the width to 100. Also set a height, so set the height to 50 pixels. The text is going to be black. Can do text align, so center align the text. Also adding in a border. And we're going to also change the display properties to display inline block. So it'll look more like buttons. So when we refresh it, you see you've got separate buttons there. And we can also add in some margins. So there's a little bit of spacing between them. Shrink down the page. So we've got it at 300. Now going into our elements, so when you click them, they're still outputting that value. So we're passing in the value of animal. So this is whatever value we've got within the HTML is actually what's getting passed in as animal. So we're going to go ahead and pass that in to our make sound. And also I want to make them all consistent. So I'm going to take whatever the value of animal is and we're going to change it to lowercase. So lower animal, and taking the value of animal, we're going to apply a JavaScript function, which is to lower case, and that will transform the string and the text values to all lowercase. So even though we've got some uppercase there, so that we don't have to worry about that, and in case we do have some inconsistencies there, it's still going to work properly. So we're transferring them all to lowercase, and you always need to include the rounded brackets. So otherwise you're not invoking the actual method, you're just attaching it to that particular object. So everything is working, we're sending it over to the lowercase. So we're ready to make use of that within a function. So let's set that function up. And we can just call it make sound. And then go down here and create a function called make sound. So we're actually passing in the value of the animal name, and we can just call it name. And for now, we'll console log out whatever the value of name is. So we can still see it, but we've essentially moved over that console message down to the function called make sound. So we're ready to actually make those sounds. So selecting our element, we're going to use a switch statement. This allows us to switch between different parameters depending on what the value of name is. So essentially looking for a needle. And if the case is equal to lion, then we can execute the code below here. So selecting that sound, and we just call it sound1 equals new audio. So creating that new audio object, linking to our sound folder with the lion, so MP3. And then what we want to do is take the sound and simply want to use the play object, and then breaking the different cases using break. So if it's lion, it should play a lion sound. Let's try that out and refresh. And we see that we are in fact playing the lion sound. So next we need to set it up for cougar and for dog. So if you want to pause the video and add those cases in, you can try that and I'll show you the solution. So now the solution for updating and adding in the sounds, the other sounds that we want to play. So we can do cougar, and in this case we're taking the cougar sound and playing it. So we're doing sound 1 or sound 2. We'll do sound 2. And copy and paste it. So we've got our last one here, and this is going to be, if it's equal to dog, then we're going to play the file for, I believe it's called bark. So play the bark, and we'll update this to be 3. So depending on what sound is pressed is going to be the one that gets played. So go ahead and try this out for yourself. Have several different MP3s, and depending on what is selected within the element, you can attach the different sounds to it. So go ahead and try this out for yourself. Coming up next, we've got a few other tweaks and adjustments that we're going to make within our application.